Fuck, guys.
Nope.
What is that?
Firemaker. Father and Ramicos.
What's up, guys? All right, so let's get into the show since everybody's here. Welcome to StreamKey. Welcome to Phone In Friday, guys. We do this every week with Velok as my co-host, and this week is Azumatt as a special guest. So welcome. Finally, he's here without any major internet crises.
Yeah, I'm alive.
How you doing today, man?
Pretty good, man. I've actually been researching a lot of internet things to try and fix the data cap issue. So
yeah, what
I've been up since 3. So the way it works is if you have anything that's considered to be high speed broadband with AT&T in my area, they do the 3 months where if you reach, I haven't realized that I've been reaching my data cap because meh. But anyway, they charge you after the 3 months. They charge you like extra, and I was like, I can't do the extra. So, but they literally charge you like $40 for like 10 gigabytes extra of data, and I was like, that's one download, dude. I have a PUBG update that's 12 gigabytes right now, like that. No, so I ended up having to actually unplug my internet, and then everything was from mobile. And I've been up since 3 a.m. working in After Effects and researching new internet without data cap, and they have it. It's just going to take me like 3 more weeks to get it. So,
jeez,
I think I might just bite the bullet this month and figure out what's happening, and then get some fiber internet like White Shadow has.
There you go. That, oh my gosh,
with zero data cap.
As soon as I move, I'm getting that, dude.
So nice looking. Yeah, well, I'm glad you got it somewhat fixed, and hopefully you can figure out something without data caps soon, because that would drive me nuts. But
yeah, I can't do data caps anymore.
Yeah,
apparently, I didn't even know they added it until, just a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently, they've been blowing up my email, and I just don't check it enough. I'm always in my game or like my gaming email, so I don't.
Yeah, it's funny how companies do that, just sneak things in there at the last second.
Comcast actually has like a pop-up that shows up on my screen. It's like, hey, you are way fucking over. And it's like just a warning. I'm like, that's probably nothing. And then like the third time, I'm like, whoa.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There'll be something there.
It was like, this is just a random extension that popped in.
Yeah.
More of that right there.
That's how my dumb brain works. This is nothing.
That'll go away. That'll take care of itself.
Yeah, well, see, so Firemaker, I have to have AT&T currently because the cable that is in my house, like my actual internal house cables, like all my ports don't work. Somebody cut the wires. Don't know how, don't know why. But so like it goes from the source to my house, but then like the little box that's attached to my house, they've sat there for 4 hours trying to figure out why it's not working. And I was just like, I don't know. So I'm assuming somebody came into my house and broke in and just cut my AT&T. Like,
where to get them?
Crazy ex-girlfriend or something. That's crazy.
If you can reach the fiber data cap, if I could reach a terabyte data cap, well, sorry, it's a terabyte speed. It's not data cap terabyte, because I can definitely hit a terabyte of data cap. Just so you know, that's what my data cap is. Definitely can hit that. All it takes is 4 streams a week, 3 hours a week, or 3 hours per stream, and then watching a lot of your other friends' streams.
That'll do it. Okay, so let's move on with the show a little bit here. By the way, welcome to everyone in the chat. Good to see you guys again. So if you guys don't know, this show is a call-in show. So you can call in to be on the show and ask your question related to streaming, or just something for Azumatt or Velok, whatever you want to ask them. All you have to do is join our Discord and join the Join Here voice chat. I'm going to link that right now in the chat in case you're not in there already. You can also ask questions in the Twitch chat or in the Discord chat as well if you can't get onto a microphone right now, which totally understandable in the middle of a Friday. But first, we'd like to go over Twitch news in general that's happened over the past week. Not like a ton over the past week because there was just so much the past few weeks with last week was Discover updates with Twitch, and then there was E3 there was E3, and then there was SGDQ. So all these big events, I think Twitch is kind of taking a break for a second because they've been going really big on those. But some of the biggest things, Prime, if you have Twitch Prime, you get all these free games this month. That's kind of cool. Not specific to streamers, just Twitch in general. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Dion Linkman's doing like a big playthrough of all the games, I guess, during the month, which is pretty cool.
I just keep clicking like add to inventory.
Yeah.
Just downloading them all. I'm just like, I'll get them all. Why not?
There goes the internet. Yeah. But
I haven't downloaded them. I'm just adding them to the cart, so to speak.
Gotcha. Real quick, Snoop Dogg mentioned they apparently changed the achievement look in Stream Summary. It's kind of cool. One thing I did see related to that actually is so Twitch came out and said now, this may have been the case for a while already, but now it specifically says on your dashboard, sorry about my dog, that streams that are involved with, if you get hosts, raids, or you do premieres or reruns, those numbers are not factored into your partner application average. And that's been the case for some time, but now it's like physically on your dashboard if you hover over your viewers. So they come out and said that's clear. I don't think that really changes too much for people, but some people were surprised by that. So it looks like Vel knew, Azumatt surprised. Is that safe to say?
Oh, about the raids and everything not factoring into your average viewers and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah, I had heard something about that a while ago. I thought that was like a common interest or a common knowledge thing, but
right.
I don't know. One of those things that Twitch probably announced that they announced like super behind the scenes that like everything, like they don't ever like go out to everybody and say stuff. They just kind of like, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
Like, way back all behind these other pages. So
yeah. Now, if you do get like a big raid or host or something and you hold those numbers, they still look at that. So like if somebody raids you, but someone sticks around from that raid for like 3 to 4 hours, like Twitch is not going to ignore that because that's something you're doing. But they're not going to factor in like huge raids and hosts that kind of go away pretty quickly into your partner application numbers when they're reviewing that. So just something to keep in mind if you're looking to apply for that. So yeah, nice. A couple other things which I think Snoop just linked. This is really cool actually. They just announced a markers feature for Twitch. So now while you're streaming, you can add a marker to a certain part of your broadcast if you want to go back and remember something happened there, which I think is really useful because, so for the podcast with interviews, I'll typically do like a good segment of the interview as the intro for the podcast. And this would be like the perfect tool to just remember something during the podcast, like, oh, I got to go back and grab this because this would be a great intro. It's also probably good for making highlights and any sort of reel where you want to make sure to go and grab something like a good moment or a cool play, something like that. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that or how you could possibly use that yourselves.
I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think, Azumatt?
I think the main thing that I would use that for is if there's something specific that's maybe somebody didn't clip. Because I don't know about you guys, but I pause my video and everything, but I pull up like my actual Twitch chat on on one of my other monitors. So it'd be nice to just be able to kind of click that and be like, okay, if nobody clipped it, at least I know I can go back to it and see it. But it's a very good thing to use for maybe like highlights. So if you wanted to go behind and create like your own version of highlights, or maybe like, for instance, a new intro or outro or even an intermission or something like that, you can quickly just go back to it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, it's good for like, you don't have to rely on viewers if you need to. It's useful to have people clip stuff for you, but maybe, no one's in there who wants to do it, or it's just like a slow day or something. You can just go do it yourself to make sure you get it and don't lose that. So I think that's useful. Nexus says it's been a thing for a while. I was told it was something that came out in the last week. Maybe it was just a partner only thing. I don't know.
Could be.
But now it's open to everybody, which is kind of cool.
I didn't know about it at all.
Yeah. Moving on.
I guess I'm learning now.
Yeah, I didn't know either, but I guess it's useful. A couple other things. So we talked about the Trello board last week with Discover updates. The new homepage should be live for everyone now, based on what they've said. You guys probably should be able to see it now, because I know some people couldn't last week. So if you're one of those people, go check again because it's probably live.
Very cool.
Yeah, have you guys noticed anyone coming to your streams from the homepage since they've launched that at all? Has anyone said anything?
No one said anything to me, at least, so I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Gotcha.
No,
I don't think anybody what's that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I don't know if that's something that people would actually talk about in chat too much. Like, oh, I came from the new homepage, because a lot of people not a big change for them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, potentially, I mean, I guess it's possible. But I hope that is that it's working in that sense. But
yeah,
I have no idea.
Have you noticed either just like a higher number of chatters in your stream, or maybe just a small uptick in people coming by the stream during each day in the past week?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a little bit more viewers come in and hang out and talk a little bit. But I'm not sure if that's from the homepage or, I mean,
it's hard to say.
But yeah, it really is. But I'm hoping that it's from there because I do really like that, and I hope that they keep working on it.
Mm-hmm. Azumatt, how about you, man?
I honestly think that it's a good idea for them to continuously work on it, because there's going to be so much input on how to fix it and change it that, I mean, best case scenario, of course, is get multiple opinions on the same exact thing. That way you're constantly improving it and making it better, but you try to accommodate, I suppose. Because as of right now, to be honest, if I go to my homepage, I see more of people that I already know versus newer people. So like my first 3 or 4 is actually, Snoop Hogg, surprisingly GreenChord, like just past broadcasts of them is just chilling all across the thing.
Huh.
Yeah. So like I've got like the whole little carousel thing, and it's there and it's working. But my main issue is right now I just see a lot of the people that I already watch.
Right.
So
it's interesting.
I think a little bit more discoverability is something that they need to.
For sure, they're definitely still working on that. I think so. I didn't know that past broadcasts were actually on the homepage. That's really interesting, because that makes me think that videos might become a little bit more important on Twitch. Like if you have a good thumbnail and a short video, maybe that would get seen now more on the homepage. People would click on that more often. That's something to consider, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, by the way, commentator asked in the chat, and yes, you can ask chat questions just written out in chat. You don't have to call in, because we understand not everyone can do that. So I think that's most of the new stuff that I saw over the past week, unless I'm missing anything. All we know now is that the updates to notifications, whatever that means, and then the channel kind of redesign for the layout, those should be happening in the next 4 weeks sometime. We don't know exactly when, but Twitch has like a release date planned for them internally. So look out for that coming soon, I guess. Get those panels ready. Did you guys see anything else that I missed over the past week, or anything with Twitch, or anything that you were just excited about over the past week?
I've only noticed like some small changes, like the viewer count and stuff like that. It's like a different person. Like the views itself is like a new eyeball. Like they're just making like little small changes. And if you go into like the channel dashboard, as was already pointed out, like they have the new little path to partner thing and the achievement. So like if you actually meet a requirement and if you exceed the requirement, it's green. So it turns it green now versus just kind of like the base color that they have. So they're just making like little small changes. I've been noticing that. It's kind of exciting because I've noticed small things like that. So it's always a little exciting to see some small changes happening, right, that they're not really even saying anything about, because as Felix said, it's always behind the scenes. They never just shout anything out.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, there's lots of little things. And it sounds like, so that's actually on the dashboard now, like every time you stream, those 3 things, the path to partner. Is that right? Or okay. Yeah. That's interesting, because that makes it seem to me like they're really trying to push you to make progress on Twitch and like see yourself hitting these achievements more, because it used to be kind of hidden in the achievement section, but if they're bringing it out onto the dashboard, that would suggest that they want more people to see it. So interesting. Sorry for my dog scratching the wall, by the way. He's still not too restless, but all right, so that's all the Twitch news I think we have, so we can get into the caller questions or calls, I guess. I saw one in the chat from GamerDad who said, is there a way for us to configure our style of stream so the homepage is more intuitive to my interests? I think that's just a general question. I don't think you can customize the homepage right now, as far as I've seen. Have you guys seen anything like that? No. Yeah, maybe in the future to come, but for right now, I didn't see anything. So Snoop Hogg had a question as well. He said, basically, how do you edit that thumbnail that shows up on the homepage? Because I have zero idea what I've been displaying. Do you guys know how to edit your thumbnails for past broadcasts?
No, I have no idea.
No, not at all.
So, okay, past broadcasts, I'm not as sure on, but with at least when you make videos on Twitch, it's very easy to do. You just like highlight a section of your past broadcast, and it's probably the same with past broadcasts themselves. But once you've done that, you just go to the little edit option, and you can upload a custom thumbnail of your choice, or use one from the stream. So it's not too hard. And I think that's probably worth looking into with the new changes to the homepage, because you might get more attention around those. So something to think about. Any other questions that we're missing here? We have a lot from the past week that we'll go through. We're waiting people to join the server and everything, so let me jump into those a little bit. I think the last one that I missed was from Crazy Wolf 98899.
Crazy Wolf.
There's a lot of Crazy Wolves out there apparently. He said, I'm not an affiliate and I get an average of less than 1 viewer. How do I increase my viewer count without going into other streams for self-promotion? I've done this in Valley's chat and he said not everyone likes it, so be careful. How do I grow my channel faster? Interesting. So basically when you're starting out like from zero, how do you grow to get like those first few viewers without going in other streams and self-promoting? What do you guys think about that?
I think networking is huge. I think going into someone's channel and I kind of remember that conversation. Like, you don't want to go into someone's channel and be like, hey, I'm streaming right now, or hey, like I'm going to be streaming in 20 minutes or anything like that. You want to go into a channel and like you just want to network with that person, and then eventually, hopefully, they'll find out that you're a streamer, and then they'll want to shout you out when they can, and they'll want to help you grow as a streamer and everything. But you don't want to go into a channel and just be like, hey, I'm streaming or I'm about to stream. Anything like that. So we've talked about the whole like Twitch etiquette thing a little bit before, I think. So what's your input on that, Azumatt?
There's actually something that I've come up with as an alternative to actually networking. It sounds bad, but there's services that you can go to. For instance, like Binks.tv, if you guys know anything about that. It's very easy to get affiliated with them. Just go in there, sign up, get an account. It's not necessarily that you have to network. It's more of once you create an account with them, when you go live, if you are one of the people that are relatively new and or you're partnered with them or you used them for a long time, what they do is they actually host you and tweet you out and shout you out on stuff like that. It's just something to do without having your network. And they put you on the front page, everything, and you get more random people coming in, and then they're there for an incentive. I don't know if you guys know what Binks TV is, but they're there to win a free game. So if you can catch their eye while you're there, not only does it fluff your numbers and help you out, but you get a lot of people watching you. And if you can catch their eye while they're chilling there for that one incentive, for the free game eventually and the Binks coins and stuff like that, it helps. So catch their eye while they're there, and you don't even have to network. I mean, your stream's on Binks. So this is just if they came straight to your channel page.
Right. Yeah. Services like that are not a bad idea to try and get like some initial numbers on the channel, and even just supplementing what you already have, really. So that's a way if you really just want to like have a sure way kind of to get some people looking at your channel without self-promoting in other people's channels. I also think that basically networking is always kind of the same. Just because you don't want to say that you're a streamer in someone else's channel doesn't mean you still can't go in there and just like make friends with people and connect with them. And I think that scales at any level, like whether you are just starting or you have 100 viewers, you can always go in and just make new friends with people. Because at the end of the day, I think that's how you get the most loyal viewers. Like, yes, I think Binks and Follow Train and etc. that will get you eyes on the channel that are just general eyes, but you're still going to have to, even with those people there, make a good connection with them to get them to stick around. So it's just a matter of like how you want to go about it, basically. Maybe if you do Binks and Follow Train, it might be a little bit faster to get those first few people because people are going to be looking at you, but you're still, like I said, going to have to make those connections. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that hopefully answers that. So thanks for the question, Crazy Wolf. Commentator had one in the chat. He said, how do you guys deal with passive self-promotion in your streams? So this is like the flip side, basically. Things like people talking about their emotes, or I just got a new mic from my stream, or I streamed this game last week. I recently had someone considered a friend start doing this consistently, and it has hurt the friendship. I'm very against it. Am I wrong? So what do you guys think about self-promoting? Do you guys ever run into that with your own chats? People talking about that? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I have a lot of viewers that also stream themselves, and I consider them all really good friends and everything. It's like I don't really like give anybody shit or give anybody any issues for talking about like their stream last week or anything. The best thing you can do, honestly, like especially because like I want to like keep those relationships with those people, whether or not they stay in my stream or anything. Like I just want to, you know, like I'm not going to try to be rude to anybody or anything. So one of the things I do is I just try to push the conversation. I'll be like, oh, that's awesome, and then like, oh man, this just happened in the game. Let's change it up real quick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like I'm not going to totally shut them down unless they're going to be like super upfront, like, hey, I'm streaming right now. Like, whoa. But like if they're just like kind of passively talking about some things with their stream, like there's really no serious harm with that. It does kind of take some of the attention away from your stream and like where you're trying to go with the conversation at that time. So just try to take control of that conversation and keep moving on.
Right. So not like making it awkward or anything or confrontational, but just sort of like diverting away from that subject.
Yeah, because if they feel like there's like a slight discomfort with that, and they will if you try to change the subject really fast, like that person will maybe, hopefully they'll realize, all right, maybe I should back off on this a little bit.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Has it ever happened?
Worse.
Have you had a case where that's happened and someone still has kept doing it basically?
Oh, for sure. And then I'd be like, dude, like you gotta like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you know, I got my stream going on right now. Like, you know, like I don't go into your stream talking about my stream. Don't do the same to me. Like I understand, like maybe if I have more or less viewers than you or anything, like it doesn't really matter. Like anybody's stream, like you just shouldn't be doing that.
Right. Yeah, it's that etiquette that we talked about before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
And then hopefully if that does happen, it's towards the end of your stream and you can kind of weather the storm a little bit and then throw them a DM afterwards.
Right. Yeah. That's always a good way to do it.
Especially if they are a friend of yours. Right. Just talk to them, smooth it over. The best thing that you can do to reinforce a friendship is use your communication between each other. That's something that you guys all know Eshnid or Esh or whatever you call him. I talk to him a lot through DMs, and it's mainly, you know, we'll go back and forth, and it's trying to again reinforce that friendship. Let us know that we are still caring about each other. And speaking of, he actually just messaged me. But we talk a lot through DMs, and you know, there's some cases where we've actually had to have those conversations, very similar to that. And it was like, just, hey man, like I just wanted to let you know I didn't really appreciate it, but because you're my bud, I love you.
Yeah, for sure.
Just keep pushing past it. That's the best thing that you can do. That DM really, really helps.
Yeah.
Really, really helps.
I even had it because like I was doing a subscriber-only Snapchat for a while until I hit the cap on that. And I had a lot of people that were promoting their streams in there, which I don't see too much of an issue with. When you start doing it really consistently, it becomes more like people aren't going to want to stick around in like your Snapchat or Discord or whatever it is. If all it is just advertisements for other people's streams.
Right.
Like Discord is a little bit different because you can have like a separate thing for that. But Snapchat, like with that group, like if you got a notification, everybody got that notification. And if it was just about someone streaming, I had to be like, dude, I totally understand what you're trying to do. You're just trying to network a little bit. I totally get that. But I don't want people to be leaving the group just because they're getting notifications for channels that maybe they don't necessarily know about or care about at that time. You know what I mean? Not to say that they shouldn't care about your channel, but if they're in my Snapchat group,
there's a time and place for it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's maybe not
and
the
that
best
helped out a lot. Those DMs, like if you can handle it well, if you can like, you know, say the right words, not be an asshole, like it will go super well. They'll totally understand, and there'll be no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I think DMs in general are just, there's so much you can do with them. I think that's one of the most underrated things with Twitch. You can address things like that in terms of like problems with the stream, but you can also kind of build people up with DMs too. I think it's just a really good way to like do something one-on-one with someone for your stream without making it awkward or making other people feel left out, you know, because it's just one-on-one channel. So that's another topic though. But thanks for the question, commentator, for you. Look through here. I think we got all the ones from the chat right now, and we don't have any callers yet, guys. Need some callers. So join that server. Actually, speaking of, Deuce Stanley just dropped the question here. He said, will Twitch ever implement different accounts for streamers and viewers only? As Twitch becomes a major entertainment platform, it may be best to have different options for accounts for someone who's only interested in viewing as opposed to streamers. Obviously, many streamers are also viewers, but as Twitch continues to grow, the viewer-only base will grow as well. So do you guys think there's any merit in having like different accounts on Twitch as someone who's a streamer versus a viewer? Do you ever see that being useful?
I kind of like everything being the same, to be honest. Like, I think it's cool. Like, everybody on Twitch, like, you don't really know what they do, and that's kind of cool. Like, makes networking that much more challenging
Mm-hmm.
and kind of that much more fun. And it makes it challenging and easier because like if you're going at it the right way with not saying that you're a streamer, then you're doing like then they're not going to know that you're a streamer right away, and that's kind of the way you should be networking anyway.
Right.
And so I kind of like that everybody looks the same. Obviously, partners have the partner badge, so that kind of gives them away a little bit. But
Right.
I guess you can probably opt out of showing that temporarily if you wanted to. That's probably just one of the badges you can click out of. But I kind of like that everybody has the same kind of account. Like I don't really see too much of a benefit from, me having a different account than just someone who's a viewer.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I actually started out kind of thinking that was a great idea. I was like, oh, that actually seems kind of cool. Main reason why is because I think here's my initial thought. This is exactly where my brain went. Was if there is some kind of incentive that you can give, if someone creates a viewer only, give them some more incentives or a different type of incentive to choose that account. Like, hey, if you're a viewer and you watch X amount of streams for X amount of time, you can get like a free game or something. Just go ahead and give them a free incentive because your viewers are the supporters. So I feel like if they choose to separate it, that they should allow for some kind of incentive or, vice kind of what he said about the sub badges, just have it to where you can kind of opt out of it to keep that basic networking thing that we have right now. Because when he was talking, he was saying, it makes it easier, makes it a little bit more challenging at the same time in a different aspect. But I like the way it is, but I do think that if they tweaked separating the accounts like that to make it to where you can opt out and turn into a viewer, or maybe you have like 2 separate accounts or 2 separate like subs. So when you go into a chat, you're like, hey, I want to be a viewer right now. Don't let them know that I'm a streamer or something like that. And you can switch between. I think that would be a very good thing that you might be able to do.
Yeah, that's a cool option.
If they pull it off correctly.
Right.
So I slightly disagree, but I definitely agree that it's probably good the way it is as well.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I like the way it is a lot right now. And I think Twitch has designed it this way because they like the idea of people being able to just like stream on a dime, basically. Because I think there are a lot of viewers who watch for a long time and then decide, hey, I could do that. Like, I'll give that a try. And they can literally just use the same account they've had forever and just go live right away. Whereas, if it's a split account, they have to go through the process of maybe making a new account or transferring their account somehow. And like Velox said, a lot of people do both, right? A lot of people are viewers who also are streamers, and that's sort of how the Twitch culture goes. But I just think this system makes sense because it's like the less amount of obstacles you can put people's way to start streaming, the better, especially for Amazon's side, because with the affiliate program now and how accessible it is to everybody, that's like more money they could be making. So I think they'll always keep it that way. That's a different question of whether there should be viewer and streamer accounts, but in my personal opinion, I really like the way it is, and I don't think there's really any need for it. Now, maybe if like Azumatt said there's like specific incentives for viewers and streamers that can make it worth it, I'd be interested to look into that, but I think we get to see some of what that looks like first before that came along. So
yeah, it can't be a rushed idea.
Yeah, for sure.
If they choose to take that route in any way, shape, or form, it can't be rushed because just like the homepage, I mean, you got to appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a very solid choice.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks for the question, Deuce. I appreciate it. Also, I missed one from Soldier Mode earlier. By the way, guys, if you have a question, please do me a huge favor and just tag my name in it, which most of you have done. But that just makes it stand out bright red so I don't miss it for sure. And don't be afraid to re-ask a question too in case I miss it because there's a lot of chat. So, but Soldier said, I often see discussions about monetization and everyone is trying to do the same things. Do you think that people could find new or better ways to support themselves if they looked to other industries? So this is kind of an interesting question. Basically, do you guys think that streamers are missing out on more ways to make money streaming besides like maybe everyone kind of relies on, bits or donations for the bulk of their revenue? Do you guys maybe have experience with things like maybe sponsorships or other ideas that I don't even know about where you make money as a streamer, or have you seen other people with cool ideas of how they make money for streaming but not directly on Twitch?
Azumatt, you want to start off with this one?
I honestly, in personal experience, I don't have anything specific to anything that's not directly related to Twitch when it comes to monetization or making money in general. That maybe a lack of experience because I've only been streaming for a little over a year, but there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities out there that which you could do that, like merch, things of that nature. But I really don't think I don't know of too many ways outside of Twitch to be able to do that, other than just giving them incentives to use that Twitch, the bits, the subs, whatever. But personally, I don't. So maybe Alec does, but I can't say too much about that since I'm kind of clueless.
I know that Doc uses a program on TRUgaming's channel. I don't remember what the program is.
GatherBot, I believe.
GatherBot.
Yep.
Yeah. So I know that there's GatherBot, and I've looked into it a little bit. And I usually just I don't know. I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to stuff on Twitch in the first place. Like, I don't like to do certain things to get followers. I don't like to do certain things for a lot of different outcomes. And I don't want to do anything extra to try to get money because honestly, like, the thing that I focus on is that I just want to focus on making a good stream, quality entertainment, and just trying my best to make that the best that I possibly can. I don't want to put too much effort into trying to get money out of people because that's really not what it's about. I don't know. I really like the idea of getting everything that I can just from Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, just from like the basics that they give you. I don't know. I really like the idea of just not of focusing on one thing, and that's just making quality content, and then everything else that I would ever need or want will follow if I can do well at that one thing. That's kind of my mindset on it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you do have to consider people who really want to take this full time and maybe are at the position where they're full time and are just looking for more ways to kind of diversify the income a little bit and have things that aren't so reliant on streaming. So I think the question of whether you need to look for other stuff, I don't know that you need to, but I think there are definitely opportunities out there if you want to find things that are not just streaming. I think brand deals in particular are really big as streamers because it's such a new space. Plus, there's a lot of new people like Ninja just creating these crazy new partnerships that didn't exist before. And now that Twitch is sort of becoming trendy a little bit, it's a good time to be looking for people and brands that have never worked with Twitch before who might have heard of it, or even if they haven't heard of it, are just looking for new ways to get exposure out there. So I think you can literally reach out to companies that have never heard of Twitch and see if they'd be interested in maybe not revenue, but either being an affiliate with them or something, just repping their stuff on stream in exchange for either free stuff, depending on your size, or maybe a revenue. But I think that's probably the biggest section that I see it for. In terms of underused spaces, I think brand deals is a big part of that. I don't know of a lot of other things. I mean, GatherBot's a decent one that you said, but I think that's sort of for our channel at least, it seems like it's sort of fallen off a little bit since its launch. That's the thing about stuff like that is they get kind of trendy and then they sort of fall away. So the problem with that stuff is it's variable, probably even more variable than Twitch. Whereas subs largely are reliable. Gifted subs made it a little less reliable, but you can kind of rely on a certain amount of money coming from subscriptions on Twitch every month. So that's nice. Brand deals also can vary a lot in terms of what you're actually getting. Sometimes they're also one-time deals. So I think it's a good idea to diversify stuff, but I don't think that you need to be looking for stuff outside Twitch because Twitch has done a good job of making it easy to get stuff, to get money off of their site basically as a streamer. So I think you should use that. But
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw what Susie said, but she said that she sells her artwork.
Oh, that's cool.
As a side thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, that's very, as I was saying about GatherBot, it's very niche. So she found her own thing that she could do to create that monetization. It's not related to Twitch at all.
Sure. Yeah, that's another good idea too. If you're a creative person, you can use stuff either you make on stream or off stream, and tie that into. I've seen a lot of creative streamers do that pretty successfully. So even merch or gear is another option. If you're selling your own branded gear through our site, for example, or Streamlabs or whatever, that's another good way to make stuff when you're not streaming. So lots of options out there. It's just a matter of finding them. I don't think they're going to change your life, but if you want more opportunities, then you can find them. So, but thank you for the question, man. I appreciate that one, Soldier. That was a good one. Let's keep moving on here a little bit. I saw another one from Commentator who said, this is kind of just a follow-up to what he asked before, but if someone refuses to stop promoting themselves where it isn't welcome, do you ever just cut them off? And Val talked about this a little bit, but maybe Azumatt, have you ever had like a really persistent person who is promoting maybe just many times or like one time and wouldn't stop doing it?
I personally have not really had that much of experience with it. Most of the people that stop by my channel, they kind of immediately realize that, you know, like I'm an easygoing person, and it doesn't necessarily bother me that you say something along the lines of your channel. But if you say it more than once or twice, like naturally, I haven't had to use the ban hammer, neither of my mods, not yet. But I did have somebody that was kind of similar to it. They were using multiple accounts and making trolley names, but they were referencing their normal account.
Oh, okay.
And they were saying like, hey, you should go check out this guy. And then they create like another account. It's like, hey, you should go check out this guy. So like we timed him out a whole bunch, and then he stopped doing it. But I've never actually used the ban hammer for that reason. But it's not necessarily that I cut them off. It's just I time them out and I speak for a minute and be like, all right, that's kind of not cool. So I haven't really had too much experience other than that one instance. And even then, it didn't really require me to cut him off. It just required a couple timeouts. And, you know, eventually he went away. And then I don't really have a trolley problem in my chat. Gotcha. For whatever reason. I suppose I'm lucky.
Sure. Vel, you kind of touched on this before, but do you want to give your thoughts on this one too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, if they refuse to stop advertising in their channel, don't blow up on them on stream, because that's a bad look. Like, I always try to keep that kind of stuff off stream anyway. My whole thing is like praise in public and then punish in private. Agreed. Is my whole thing. So you're gonna have to DM that person, tell them if they don't stop, they're done. They're not going to be in your channel anymore, because if it's like, you need to take control of your channel 100%. You can't let other people like do things in your channel that you don't like, because then it's just going to start growing. Like, if you let one person start being a trolley asshole in your channel, there's going to be more that come in, and they're just going to do the same thing. So you have to get rid of that one person before it becomes a virus and spreads. So True. You like to take control of it, tell them like no more or they're banned, and then that's the way it's got to be off stream.
Right,
for sure. Don't blow up on them on stream.
Yeah, I agree. We talk about this a lot, but you can't let the viewers run the stream, right? And you can't be afraid of making someone feel bad or something because they won't stop promoting themselves, or any other situation where like you've told someone to stop doing something and they won't stop doing it. Like, you have to take a stand on that. Otherwise, you're going to set a precedent where other people can do the same thing and get away with it. So it's just like the tough reality of streaming or anything that's similar to streaming like that. Hopefully that helps weird. You. Yeah,
very different.
It's not easy, but I really think it is the only solution to that one. But hopefully it helps you get commentator. I appreciate that one. I saw one from Sunny Delighted. It was kind of hidden there. I like the name, by the way. It's Sunny D Lighted, like the drink. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like that.
Said, at work, and I can't get in the Discord, but one question I've had is the strategies behind micro and macro growth in viewership. So basically, maybe thinking short-term versus long-term viewership, or even like getting like one viewer at a time versus like many viewers. I think it's probably best like short-term versus long-term. With you guys, do you have any plans in terms of like, what am I doing each day to get one more viewer in the stream versus what am I doing overall long-term to make sure that my viewers keep growing and growing consistently? Do you guys have thoughts on that maybe?
Azumatt?
Yeah, so the main thing I do on a day-to-day basis is if I'm going to be streaming, I try and, maybe earlier in the day, maybe even the day before, I try to do some networking on social media, or be like, hey, maybe you should come check out like my stream next time, or I try to just in general talk to them, because my Instagram's been kind of blowing up. I suppose I've been getting like some decent DMs, like, hey, can we do like some collaboration streams and stuff like that?
Nice.
Or instead of like commenting on somebody's post or something immediately direct, just saying, hey, like come check me out, I'll shoot them a message, and that seems to be a little bit more effective. Is if you shoot them a DM and it's like, hey, I'm interested in maybe like trying to network with you and talk to you a little bit, see where it goes. Like maybe you check me out, you let me know, kind of give me criticism, some honest criticism, even if it's like 10 seconds and they stop by and it's like that 10 seconds I didn't really like you, so they stopped tuning in.
Yeah.
But at least what I try to do is, and what's been working for me on a day-to-day basis, is maybe the day before I start talking up my next stream, whether that's on social media or through some DMs or something like that. It's going to be fun. Like, come check it out. I've got a community night. Like, we're going to have fun, like play games. And I don't even mention necessarily that I'm going to be streaming it, but if the conversation takes off past a certain point, I will drop it in there and be like, hey, I'm also going to be streaming it if you're interested. So I suppose on a day-to-day basis, that's more or less what I do. Is I like to shoot DMs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very big fan of direct messages. And in the long term, it's commenting on people's posts in general, congratulating on their own success. That way, they know that you're there and you're actually being supportive of them as well. And who knows, maybe they click on your profile. That it all falls into how well you're networking and what you're doing. But most of it is just don't let them know that you are a streamer. Just talk to them as if they are a person, because we're all people.
Yeah.
So if you congratulate them on their success, they're going to be like, oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then maybe that sparks a different conversation of how was your day, whatever. And you might think that is going in a bad direction, but honestly, what's to say that they didn't already click your name?
Yeah. That's so true.
If they've clicked your name, they know you're a streamer. They want to, most likely I'm going to gauge whether, like, how long it takes you to tell me that you're a streamer. So that's what I do as far as just in general on a day-to-day basis versus in the long run.
Sure.
Long term, I'm trying to make friends. That's the whole reason I started streaming to begin with. So that's my goal. Is I'm going to go in there. I'm going to treat you like a person. I'm going to talk to you and see where that goes. If you want to check me out, you check me out. If you don't, maybe you're too busy or I stream at the wrong times. That's fine too. I just want to be your friend. I could care less. But that's the mentality I feel like you need to walk into it with versus just networking in general. Like try to make friends versus like just another number, another person to support you, anything along those lines, however you want to phrase it. But make friends. That's the main thing. I mean, it all falls back to networking.
Yep. But I think it's really good.
Definitely have a goal.
Right. You use a lot of social, it sounds like, in your day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
And long-term too, just using lots of comments and posts and stuff. So that's cool to hear. I'm curious to see what Veloc's strategies are on his end, day-to-day versus long-term.
Honestly, it's just like networking and just doing what I can. Like, I don't focus too much on getting a lot of viewers in the long term. I focus on I guess I do focus on getting them in the long term for sure. But I focus on doing whatever I can to entertain the people that are in my channel currently. I go and I network and I try to show other streamers and other communities that I'm a streamer, that I'm an energetic guy. I'm a very genuine person, and I just try to enjoy or entertain people the best that I can, and I kind of try to leave it at that, to be honest.
Sure.
I feel like that's the main thing with Twitch, is like you just want to entertain people. And like Edible had a question earlier, like basically, like my whole thing is like, and Susie had put this the best. She had said something like, if you can put a smile on someone's face, that's awesome. Like that's the whole goal. And honestly, if you can put smiles on people's faces, like everything else will follow. Like people will want to show up more if they're happier. That's just the way it is. Like if they're entertained, they're going to show up more and more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's nothing quite as satisfying as like making someone else happy through your stream.
Oh, it's the best.
I think that's like the number one motivator. But personally, so I have a personal goal where I try and like meet one new friend a day, basically, or like really get to know one person each day.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah. my good friend. But yeah, like picking someone new and really trying to like learn about them, like what they're into, what they like, even taking notes on them and things like that. And it doesn't have to be creepy if you just like, if your intentions are like to make a better friend, right? So if you like note down things about that person, it helps you be able to engage with them better. And it's worked well for me. And then long term, it's just an extension of that where you're trying to keep up with all those people, because that proves to be hard as you grow more and more friends. But that has worked well for me. It's similar to what Azumatt does, but not so like social based. And all kind of the same strategies at the end of the day is just making new friends, right? You can do it by commenting on social media. You can do it by just streaming your heart out and trying to make people laugh. At the end of the day, that's what you're doing, is just making new friends each day and then trying to bring them all together long term. I think that kind of sums that up. So, cool. Thanks for the question, man. I appreciate that one, even asking from work. By the way, guys, we have a lot of questions, which I love. Thank you for that. If you want to join faster and get your question answered faster, you can join the call. Anyone who joins the call-in server and joins the waiting room gets priority for their question. So if you really want to get it asked, you can join and ask it in person. Yeah. But we'll keep moving through these questions in the chat that I have seen. One from Sticky Venom, another good name, said, is trying to keep the community clean a losing battle? Should you keep trying to enforce your policies and possibly lose a few regulars? So I don't know if either of you guys try and keep like a clean community. This may not even be in terms of swearing. Maybe it is in terms of like, just like, you know, how Twitch is basically, being can be sort of hateful or just negative attitude around Twitch. Do you guys ever try and enforce that? Or have you had experiences with that before?
I had an old army buddy come into my channel once and started making some jokes. And everybody knows how the military is. Like, the sense of humor there is a little foul, you know, kind of has to be to put up with some of the bullshit you go through. And that's just the way it is. But I've had to change some of that, you know, as a person, and like switching to a regular, you know, civilian life and everything, and being on Twitch and everything. I've had to change myself as a person a lot. And this person came in, started saying some stuff. I'm like, hey man, like, love you, bro. Like, we're like, you're my brother for sure. Like, I fucking love you. But we don't talk like that here. We don't make those kind of jokes. I'm sorry. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, we just don't do it here, man. He's like, all right, bye. I'm like, see ya, dude. Like, it's just like, it hurt. Like, it sucked, but like, you have to take control of your stream. You have to. People are gonna be assholes. And like, that guy he's a really good dude. I don't think any less of him for that by any means, but that's just the way that it has to be sometimes. I agree.
That's a really good point you brought up, actually, is not making exceptions for special people. You can't like make a rule and then let your friends get away with it because they're your friends. Like, I've had to deal with that myself too. It's really hard to do, but if you really want to keep everything fair on your stream and keep that growing, you can't have favorites in your chat, and you can't like treat people you've known forever or family or whatever like they're above the rest of your chat, because that will cause, it might seem like, you know, it's better to please everyone in the moment, but long term that will actually hurt you more than if you were to keep everything consistent. So that's a good point, I think. Azumatt, you have any thoughts on this one?
From a manager standpoint, I'm actually pulling this from IRL, right? A lot of issues that a lot of managers have, because I'm an assistant general manager, so like I'm a little bit higher. This is coming from more long-term experience, but a lot of like new managers, when they first start out, and you can consider yourself your manager of your own stream, but a lot of new managers, they bend rules for those special people, and because of that, if they see that like someone else sees that happen once, all it does is create a snowball effect. It's going to create a snowball effect of someone coming in and they're like, oh, okay, you know, that might be their first chat message that they see is something that you might not think is a good thing for your channel, but you let it slide because a certain someone said it. So they're going to come in, first thing that they're going to say is, you know, screw you, F this, F that, whatever. And they're going to put that in your channel, and you're going to be like, whoa, hold up, no. And if you slap them on the wrist for it, but you didn't slap him, he's going to be like, well, you didn't slap him on the wrist for it, so why are you getting mad at me? And then it's just going to be like, yeah, man, why are you doing that? And it's just going to keep going.
Yep.
And if you don't set your ground rules and you are not firm on them, regardless of if, Velik comes in my stream one day and does something that I don't like, I'm going to be stern with him. And I'm
It's
going to
gonna
be like,
happen.
yeah, it's going to happen. So I'm just saying, if you even become lenient once, you are showing them that you are lenient in some fashion. All I got to do is tickle your fancy a little bit, and then you're going to be lenient. And that's all it's going to take. So always stay consistent. Always stay by your rules. Because if you don't, your channel could go in the wrong direction.
Right.
And
yeah.
that could be permanent. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. It's like we talked about before with commentator. You have to stamp it out early and just set a precedent for it. But basically, to circle back on the root of the question, do you think it's possible to enforce a clean community on your channel? Because I personally think it is. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think
necessary.
Yeah.
I think if Ninja, and I'm going to use him as an example here, if Ninja can go from being a potty mouth to having millions of people in his chat, sometimes, but he can go in there and he can have a clean channel, not necessarily the viewers themselves, but himself, he is showing by example what he wants his channel to be. So with that being said, and all of his moderators and stuff like that, they're able to see through him what he's expecting and what he wants. And then they can come in, do the same thing, moderate on a higher level because they know you based on what they're seeing. So they're going to be like, okay, he didn't really like this, or he made a smirk at this particular chat message when it popped up, or something like that. And they can just click it. Boom, it's gone. Like if you set the ground rules and you have it there, yes, I do think that you can wholeheartedly create a clean community.
Right.
You just have to stay next to it. You have to let and show yourself and be transparent in the fact that that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, it also involves having a good mod team behind you who knows what your values are and can stay consistent with what you would do, basically.
Suzy QQ.
Yeah, good example right there. But yeah, thank you for the question, man. I appreciate that one. I want to jump to a Discord question, just written out in Discord. Still no callers. Clicksticks said last Saturday, what do y'all think of happy hour drinking streams? If done well and with relative discipline, do you think they could be a good event stream? I know there are terms of service that must be accounted for, but assuming they're followed, what are your thoughts on that? So real quickly, you guys know like the terms of service ruling on drinking streams, how that goes?
Yeah, like you can't do a shot for a follow or anything like that. Like you can't like have a reward be a shot. You can't be belligerently drunk on stream.
Right.
I don't know what the other ones are, if there are any.
That's pretty much it. Like, yeah,
okay.
But you can drink on stream, to my understanding, but like you cannot be crazy drunk, and then you also can't drink as an incentive for people to do something, whether that's donating or following or subscribing or whatever, especially if it's related to money. So yeah, but in general though, do you guys think that like there's a place for these kind of streams, or are you against them? What are your thoughts on drinking streams in general?
So I'm gonna be honest, man. I passed out a lot of points at one point. And I don't know if you guys know, but Closing Door has redeemed 9 or 10 drunk streams from me. And I've only done like 3 of them. I told him, I was like, dude, I can't keep doing that. But I have a redeem script in my Streamlabs chatbot where it's not necessarily breaking TOS because it's not for like a follow or a donation or anything like that. They use their stream currency that they earn to redeem said shot, or to redeem like me shotgunning a beer or something like that. It's all in there, and they use their currency for it. 100% free on them, other than a little bit of time. So that turned out,
if anything,
that turned out to be a relatively bad thing, because apparently you can get belligerently drunk if your point system is not 100% where you thought it was going to be, as far as how fast the points are actually being dished out and how many times you're going to hit the make it rain button. when you're a little tipsy. So, yeah, I think there is a time and place for it, but I think that you definitely have to plan and have a extremely firm structure before you try to do one of those, because I messed up on that. So
Yeah.
learn from me.
Man,
I actually drank on my. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was just go ahead first. Actually, I want to hear your side of that first.
Yeah, so I was actually drinking on the 4th of July. Like, 9 o'clock. Awesome. You know, it's America's Day, so I was drinking Budweiser. Didn't get drunk. I mean, I think I got like a little bit buzzed or whatever. But, you know, like, just pace yourself out, have some fun with it, do it casually. Don't intend to get hammered. Don't even go and do a stream drinking thinking, oh, I'm going to get a buzz going. Like, that's, no. Because, like, you get a buzz going, like, then, like, they start going down smoother. It's just bad. Like, I've had a lot of streams where, like, one time I dabbed. It was a 40 ounce of Freedom Friday, drinking a 40 ouncer of Budweiser, and I dabbed. And I actually karate chopped my beer off my desk. And I was like, I need to stop this right now. So I haven't done one since. Yeah, so just, you know, casually do it. Like, I like to have a drink at streams. I don't do it for morning streams, aside from the 4th of July, because I have to work that day, and it's America's birthday. But I don't drink during the morning, obviously. But for a night stream, I like to have a beer or two just to kind of loosen up a little bit. But I don't try to get buzzed or drunk by any means on stream.
Sure. Yeah. By the way, you're cutting out a little bit just right now.
My bad.
Yeah, or you can lower your Discord cutoff too. Either way, I personally would I stay away from this just because I don't want to like give any reason to be against TOS. And I've actually seen people or Twitch acting against this in the past couple of weeks. So a lot of things, by the way, it seems like Twitch is sort of stepping up on taking a stance against things. But I don't mess with it just because I don't think there's a time. If anything, I think just have a drink yourself on stream. Don't involve the chat in it really at all. I don't think you need to call it a drunk stream or anything. You don't need to call it like, you know, donate for shots or whatever. Like, you can have a beer on stream, that's fine. But like, don't make it part of the stream where like, we're getting drunk, everyone. Like, yeah, don't do that. That's just not going to go well. That's my personal side of it though. So I personally would stay away from it. But these guys have said there's a couple ways you can do it. So up to you, I think, at the end of the day. And another one, I'm getting some of the Discord questions because these are coming from a couple days ago, so make sure we get to these before next week. Lightweight Lander said, my question is, what is one way to compare your progress of where you should be versus where you actually are? So I guess that sort of comes out to, what do you guys like to measure in terms of progress for where you are now versus where you'd like to be? Like, what numbers matter to you? What are sort of like the ways you measure your progress overall on Twitch?
So one thing, I don't agree with thinking about where you should be, like compared to like where you like what you're doing right now. Like, you are where you should be. Like, if you were better as a streamer than you are, you'd be doing better as a streamer. So like, there's nothing saying that like, you know, I should have more viewers or I should have more followers or anything. Like, earn those, and then you should be where you are. You're doing all the things that you're doing to be where you're at. You're not doing all the things that you're doing to be like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like measuring where you're at compared to like where you've been before, I really like to watch old streams. Old clips are good too if like the archives are not going far back enough. Like, I like to go look at old clips just to see like my overlay and how much has changed. My camera is much better. My stream presence is much better than it used to be. Just everything is just, it just seems more natural watching myself now than it used to be.
Yeah.
So VODs are a really good way to do it.
Absolutely. Actually, to piggyback off of that, it's a good idea to highlight an entire VOD every, like, maybe once a month or something, or so you can see a progress over time of your streams. Because VODs only last so long, so you can't really look back at, like, you know, a year ago VODs unless you've highlighted them. I think it's a cool idea to try and highlight like every month or something. Like, maybe you pick the first of every month and then you put that into a big playlist, and you can see like, okay, over the past year, here's how my stream changed. Here's what got better. Here's what I still need to work on. I really like VODs in general. I think that's a great idea. But Azumatt, your thoughts on this one?
I don't think that you can gauge where you should be. Kind of going based off of what Bellic said. You can't gauge where you should be, because who's to say where you should be? I mean, because you're on stream and you're at where you're at. Like your progress is happening in that moment as soon as you hit start streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no, I should have 85 viewers as soon as I click this button. That's not going to happen. So I don't think that you can gauge where you should be, but you can definitely gauge where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go.
Mhm.
So you can set a goal, and I think you should phrase it as this, is like where you want to be, not where you should be. And you can set a goal and see if you meet it. If you don't meet it, figure out why. Figure out what happened, and along those lines. So you can always constantly compare things, but I don't think that you can ever say where you should be.
Right. I agree. Like, yeah, there's no should be, right? Like, there's not a master plan for Twitch by, okay, 3 months, you've been streaming for 47 hours for this many times a day, you should be at this number of viewers. Like, there's no roadmap here. But having a goal of where you want to go to is definitely useful. I think there's a number of ways to measure it in terms of whether you want to do concurrent viewers is usually the best one. I think that's just like the universally agreed on number that everyone cares about on Twitch. Compared to like followers, kind of meh once you get past affiliate. Subs maybe are important to you. It depends on what your goals are, because your goals will affect what you should be measuring, right? Like if you want to get partnered or something, maybe concurrent viewers matter to you a lot, because that's the biggest thing. Whereas like if you want to go full time, maybe subscribers matters to you, or donations or whatever. So it's figuring out where you want to get and then figuring out which numbers matter most to get there. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think it's a cool question to think through. So thank you for that, Lightweight. I appreciate that. So chat's moving really fast, guys. I think we will not get to all the questions today. So I want to reiterate, if you have a question you want to get answered, we've been an hour now. We could really use a caller and you'll get it answered right away. So just join the server. I'm going to link that again right here, guys. It's a great Discord, I promise. It's really, really cool show. Anyway, so GamerDad had a question way back. He said, what about a code with your friends? Most of my friends tell me they got to get out of here and I know they are going live. And I may on occasion shout them out or tell them to have a nice stream or just tell them to have a good night. So basically, this is interesting. I guess GamerDad has, like, his friends will say certain things that GamerDad's knows means, I'm going live, but they're not actually saying that in the stream. That's kind of interesting. That. Yeah, I've never heard of that before, but I kind of like that.
As long as it doesn't hint at being a stream thing, like, as long as it's like a super, like, has no relation to streaming at all, I really like that. I really like that a lot.
I gotta go cook a burger, man. Like, something like that.
Wait, I gotta turn my car around. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about that is it only works for people that you've known for some time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not gonna work for a lurker who comes in. Like, if you want to self-promote, just make sure you say, I'm gonna go eat some cheese. Like,
right.
It's not gonna work for you, but it's kind of funny. Right. I think it's a cool idea to like add some camaraderie to your stream. Moving on here a little bit here. There's so much chat going on here. I'm trying to keep up with all of it. Again, if you have a question, tag me so I see it in bright red. I'm going to keep going down until I see one. Angry Grinja has a question. She says, in reference to branding versus identity, I know this is discussed often and I have no idea what I will develop into. Can you guys give a brief synopsis in how you developed your brands and identities? This is kind of a cool one. So do you guys know the difference between brand and identity? I talk this on the podcast sometimes.
Talk just about
it. All right. Yeah. So brand and identity go hand in hand, but they're a little bit different. Branding is everything visual on your screen that you see. So in Veloc's case, it's all the blue and yellow. It's his, the shape of his V logo, all the stuff that you see visually, even like the stuff on his wall back there, everything like that. That's his brand. Azumatt, it's that cyan and black kind of transparent stuff. Very cool looking. That's all your brand, look, colors, feel, theme. Whereas identity is like what you're known as a streamer. So Veloc, like there's Samerica in his identity. He played that up a lot over the past week. Also just lots of funny streams, the whole CGYDB thing. Like these are all pieces of identity that you know him for. Oh, Veloc's that really funny America CGYDB Fortnite guy, right? Whereas Azumatt is more of like the Destiny kind of guy. I don't know Azumatt as well, to be honest, just because I've been following Veloc for 2 years, but I know he does a lot of Destiny, a lot of stuff with After Effects and Premiere, making lots of fancy stuff. So it's like more of what people know you as when they say you are this streamer. Like maybe you're Ninja's the Fortnite streamer, Veloc is the America streamer, whatever. those are the differences between those two things. So basically, given that, how did you guys kind of come up with your brands and identities on your own channels? And Azumatt, you can talk more on yours, or Velok if I didn't quite nail it, because you know it better than anybody else.
I will talk about mine, but I want to hear Azumatt's first.
Oh, okay. So my identity is kind of generic, to be honest. My identity is more like I'm just a laid back kind of guy that wants to smooth talk you into loving me. But most of my identity comes from just like the person I am IRL, because I'm the same person I am IRL as I am on stream. Like, as the people that have met me at ECGC, they can attest to that. I'm quite literally, I don't change. I mean, I might be a little bit more open IRL versus what's on stream, and that could just be, I've got to be careful what I say in general. But I don't know if you guys know, but my branding was actually inspired by the Destiny 2 overlays. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to see on my channel, not anymore, I'm changing it, but a lot of the overlays and stuff that you see, I'm making tweaks to them right now, but they started out as an inspiration of the overlays. I like when I play a game and, like for God of War, for example, when you pick up one of the apples that gives you health, how like fancy that looks. I'm very fascinated with a lot of, I don't know, After Effects type things, just because I know how much work that takes to accomplish something like that. But a lot of the branding is what you want it to be, and I liked the way black, white, and the cyan blue that I use blend together very well. It's very versatile, and I can use it for a lot of things, whether that's text, whatever. It's colors that complement each other. And I drew my logo on a piece of paper, and at the time I knew not much about Photoshop, so like I halfway created it and then gave my brother the Photoshop file, and I was like, help me, because he's a graphic designer. I was like, I've got it on paper, I need it to look like this. And he took control of it and was like, boom, 5 seconds. Like, that's how long it took him. He was like, here's 5 seconds, boom, done. Wow. He's like, I didn't even stop working. Like, he works as a graphic designer. He's like, I didn't even stop working to do this. I don't know why you don't know how to do it. But it's, so to him, that simple. And branding, to a lot of people, you think that you have to pay to do stuff like that. But really, you can go on canva.com and throw some shapes together and start out with something. Just start out with something in general. Kind of have an idea, use a lot of video games and stuff like that to inspire you on what you choose. But your identity is, in my opinion, it's you. It's who you are as a person and where you want and what kind of persona you want to put on. So mine is, I wanted to be myself. So I translated that into the stream. And then the branding is, I really like those colors, and I threw it together and I made it look cool. I was inspired by the Destiny overlays, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I like the way it's all transparent and it looks smooth and it's neat and it's very crisp. So I wanted to emulate that. So find something that you're interested in, find something that piques your interest as far as an overlay, maybe even some colors, maybe, I don't know, shapes in general, and just throw that together, create a brand, do something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So my whole thing is like, branding is like what you can control. Like, that's something that like you have that set in your mind, and like that's what it's gonna be, and that's like, there's nothing wrong with that. So like for me, like I just wanted a really clean look. I wanted my logo to look solid, and I have all that. Like, I think my branding is perfect for what I want it to be. One thing I will say is like, it's better to go with something like Azumatt has like a really just like broad branding. Like, it could go with pretty much anything. Like, he says he kind of modeled it after Destiny, but he doesn't do something crazy. Like, I originally did like a Viking theme, and that kind of like sets you in like one thing. Like, if I had that and I had the Velok America emo, it's kind of weird. So in my opinion, like, try to broaden your branding a little bit, just to something clean, not too flashy or anything like that. One thing I will say is that like I tried to do colors that stuck out a lot. So like the blue and then the yellow really pops. And so I know when people go looking through the directory, that yellow is going to stand out quite a lot as opposed to like everybody else's branding in there. So try to like take that into a factor. You know, you want to pop out above other streamers in the directory of the game that you're playing in. So that's what I have to say about branding. Just do something that you like that just looks good and pops out. As far as identity, that's the one thing you don't really control, in my opinion. Like, you can't go in there and be like, well, unless you're Dr. Disrespect or something, but like, if you're trying to be yourself on stream, like, you're not going to be able to decide what your identity is going to be. The biggest things for my identity as a streamer have happened just randomly. Like the CGYDB, that blew up because of a meme in a video game that I just happened to say something, and then it just blew up, and then like I'm now known as like a very energetic and funny streamer. Like that just happened because that's who I am. Like I didn't decide to do that. Right. That's just how things worked out. So identity, just don't worry about what you're gonna be as a streamer. Just be yourself, and then eventually over time things will start happening, and people will start knowing you for certain things, and you just stick with those.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll say about this stuff just in general. I like your point, Belloc, about having something that's kind of universal that you can play on any game and not get like bogged down into something. I will say for both branding and identity, they're both very iterative. So like, don't be afraid to start with something that like you're not in love with, and then change it and tweak it over time. Because I think both of these guys actually have changed their branding over time based on like they started with something, but like they changed. Like I think Azumatt kept the color scheme but changed the actual logos and stuff, and then Veloc had a certain look but then changed the colors of it. So like branding, especially that one, is just so subjective that you will find it over time. You even see like Ninja in the past month or so like cleaned up his branding a little bit. It made little changes to it and things. So that's just how branding goes. So just start with something and see where it takes you, and eventually you'll probably come with something that you like. Identity, sort of like these guys said, is also very natural. Like it shouldn't be something that you have to stress about and worry about, as long as you're just aware it's a thing. That too will come over time, and you can expand on it and pick apart parts that you like that you've developed over time and go a certain way if you want to, like in a certain game or something. So yeah, don't let like the fear of having the perfect branding identity stop you from streaming in the end. Right. It's the biggest thing.
It'll all figure itself out.
Yeah.
Branding
also,
can always come later.
Yeah, it can. That's you gotta stream at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. But by the way, I keep saying her name wrong. Apparently it's Greenja, Angry Greenja.
Really?
So yeah, I should know that because I'm green.
I've been saying it wrong too then, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I've said Angry Gringo like every time.
Sorry about maybe it's Gringa?
Gringa.
Gringa? I'm still saying it
I don't know.
wrong.
I've been saying it right. Hell yeah.
No!
Okay, Gringa. Yeah, that's what it is.
Wait,
Angry Gringa.
she's saying no and yes at the same time.
That's because I was saying Greenja. Ja. It's not Ja, it's Ga. Okay.
Yeah.
It's green good.
Yeah. This is a great podcast, by the way, guys. Hope you're enjoying the content. Yeah, moving along here. I appreciate the question, Gringa. That's a good one. I have some more stuff.
After this, they're just like, what the fuck are they talking
about?
Like, we're talking about Gringu. You ain't heard about Gringu?
Gringu?
Oh my god.
There's a couple more so another one from Lightweight Lander, who asked last week. He said, I don't know how people get so many followers after just a year. I noticed if I play competitively on a tournament website, basically, my competitors usually stop by and drop a follow. Is this a good way to grow? This is kind of a cool subject. Have you guys ever played in tournaments for games online and used that as a way to get attention for your streams?
No. Not online.
Zero experience. Or do you know anyone who has done that before? Or do you maybe see the value in it? Especially for games like Fortnite that are so saturated. Do you think maybe there could be value there looking into competing in tournaments as a way to stand out a little bit more?
For sure, but in my opinion, like competitive games already have so many streamers on there that are competitive that there's so many different ones to choose from. So aside from being a competitive, very skilled player in the game, you have to find something that like kind of differentiates yourself from the other streamers. Yeah, because you can go into Ninja and pretty much see the same content as someone with the same skill set.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like, there's really nothing there aside from like his crazy life outside of Twitch that you can follow him on Instagram for, like that kind of stuff. But like, there's really not that much going on there. Like as far as like just crazy personality or anything separate aside.
Sorry about that.
No, you're totally good. I mean, you want to find something to kind of differentiate yourself a little bit, because every streamer on Fortnite's the I'm trying to get really good at Fortnite streamer. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And just be different. That's all I can say.
Agreed. Yeah, Fortnite's so hard because there's no great way to stand out really yet, in my opinion. It really comes down to you as an entertainer at the end of the day, because everyone is playing the game well. Is pretty much playing the game the same way, to my understanding. Like, so as someone who plays a lot of League, or any game like Overwatch, League, CSGO, whatever, there are like positions in those games. There are different characters in those games. You can like specialize in something within those games. Whereas Fortnite, everyone's the same avatar that jumps in the same map, that gets the same guns, that has the same building. Like, you cannot be like, well, I'm the sniper guy. Like, it's just not a thing in Fortnite. Like, whereas in CSGO, you could be like known as a very good opper or something, right?
No, for sure.
But in Fortnite, like, I'm the best wall builder. You can't really do that. So I
am the Donald Trump of Fortnite. Okay, let me tell you.
But now, to piggyback off that, I think that tournaments have some value there, because that's like one of the rare ways you can kind of set yourself apart to say that you've competed and stuff. And also maybe you're just getting more eyes on you if the tournament is streamed, or if you put your Twitch name as your name on Epic. I think it's just take whatever you can at this point to try and stand out in Fortnite, because it's so hard. So I think it's a good idea personally. Azumatt, you have thoughts on that maybe?
I kind of want to go along the lines of like the tournament sports for a split second. I don't think that is a healthy way to grow if you are trying to grow on Twitch. Main reason why is because that is competition based, and you're going to constantly be looking for those types of events to create that content. And that might not always be local. So if you try and make that happen and you want to do these online and stuff like that, if that becomes your brand, you're stuck with it. So I don't recommend that if that's your sole way of growing viewership on Twitch, and that's not necessarily the direction that you want to go, I would slow the roll on it a little and maybe not do it as much. Even if you are finding some sort of success in it, if you are wanting to take that in a different direction. But the only other thing that I really have to say is if the game is saturated, and you are doing everything to stand out, like changing your name on Epic and stuff, fantastic idea, great idea, sure. But how effective is that?
Yeah.
Is that going to bring someone in there to watch you? Probably not. What you have to do, personal opinion, is it's going to go back to how are you playing different? Are you the guy that's like, I'm the sniper guy, so you're going to run and you're going to wait and see how long you can survive until you find a sniper or a golden scar? Yep. Like, are you that guy, or are you the guy that's like, I'll pick up this pistol real quick, but I'm the sniper guy, and like, that's not what you do. I just don't think that there's too much of a way to stand out in games like that. And for that, that's a lot of the reason why I don't play them often. I have one night in where I play Overwatch. I like Overwatch more so than Fortnite, personally, because Fortnite, one, it doesn't work on my computer. Every time I hit a load screen, the game freezes. Don't know why. But also, one, I'm not very good at it, and two, there's so limited content on it, because sure, I can build and sure, I can do stuff, but half the time I'm literally running through a field. Like, that's why I don't like playing Fortnite and PUBG for that reason, because I'm going to pick up a scatter shotgun and that's what I'm going to use the whole game. I might use a sniper, but I have no skill, so that's not going to happen. I'm going to grab the shotgun that I can spray and pray and hope that maybe one bullet hits your face. Maybe. But my luck, I'm going to chip a wall by shooting that wall and not you, and then you're going to kill me in 5 seconds, and then I just ran across the map for 40 minutes for no reason. And I feel like that it's very limiting in the content. So the people that do stand out in Fortnite, congrats to you. But I think if you are a person that is just doing it to try and become a Fortnite player, it's going to be extremely hard due to the game itself having a limiting variation on content, and because there's just so many people trying to find that variation. So if you haven't found the variation, somebody else.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean, the benefit is that the audience is there. Like if you start to pick up Steam, there's such a huge audience that you can basically never stop growing. Whereas certain games are too unsaturated to the point where like there's a cap on them. But yeah, even like Overwatch, you know, that's a saturated game where there's more ways to make yourself stand out. Like if you're a Genji main or something, or you have a rank in that game. Like that's another thing about Fortnite. There's not even ranks in the game yet. So you can't even really, like maybe they have win leaderboards or whatever, but there's not really a way to say I'm diamond, whatever. That just doesn't exist. Basically, you just have to win a lot on Fortnite. That's what it all comes down to. And then that's like a prerequisite. Once you have that down, then you have to have a unique identity, like entertainment, to couple with that. So I think Fortnite is just so hard to grow in. But if you're committed, maybe that's a good way to do it, is to use tournaments, use whatever you can to just get more attention and keep building up your entertainment persona. So yeah. Good question. I appreciate that one. That we kind of snowballed off that into Fortnite, but anyway, I think it was still pretty good. So Edible American finally asking us our question. He said, how much content do you prepare off stream versus letting it flow? So kind of like pre-preparing content for a stream. We talked about this a little bit before, but I'd be curious to get Azumatt's thought on this. Do you ever like prepare things ahead of time to talk about with your stream, or maybe just segments of the stream that you're planned as events or something? Is that common, or do you sort of just hit live and see what happens most days?
I would say about 75% of it is prep beforehand, and then 25% is I'm just hoping for the best. I don't sleep very well, so there's a 90% chance that if I'm not playing the game, I'm most likely working on stream stuff. So you could shoot me a DM or whatever. Like I've come up with things that help my moderators actually keep track of what we're doing to progress the channel. I use a thing called Wunderlist. It's like literally a grocery shopping like checklist app thing that you can share with people. I've created a list with my moderators that everybody can see, everybody can edit, everybody can add to it. But also every time I update something into one of my other lists, and I add a time frame, if I add a time frame to it, it updates to my calendar on my website saying like I need this done by this day, and like everyone can see it. But one thing that I do is I make sure that I'm on top of that stuff. So like most of my time when I don't sleep or when I'm lazy, I'm doing something stream related. I'm preparing for the next stream. I'm creating a new intro. I'm messing around with overlays. Even if I don't get anywhere, I'm messing around with it. I'm doing something with it to try and create some kind of difference. And most of the time that has caused me to have bloodshot eyes for quite a few days, you know, because I get so involved into it that's what I'm doing. And that's all I can think about. So sometimes like I'll be, you know, chilling at work and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I put it in that app and then boom, it's there. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, I want this done. I need to do this. Like right now I have a saying a podcast about consistency, and it's not consistency based on what you think. It's consistency as a person. So, and I think that's something that's awesome. Always try to work outside of stream on stuff, because the more time that you put into that content, the more quality content you are putting out. I'm not saying make it your entire life, but definitely put more time in that than just hoping for the best. Right. So whether that's a 60-40 split or not, definitely do something more.
But you prep a lot for stuff before the stream, it sounds like, overall, like more so than letting stuff fly. Like you know what you're going to be doing for most of the stream ahead of time. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I've also done what you've talked about too, like making notes when you're out somewhere and have an idea or something, just jotting it down to come back to later. I think that's a good idea if you think of something while you're not actually streaming, just to keep track of that. Velok, what's your kind of split on that in terms of pre-prepping content for a stream versus just seeing what happens?
I don't really prep too much content out. Like obviously I like to set things up for mods, I guess, to make it easier for them with some of the commands and everything. But as far as like content on stream, like I just kind of just do my thing. I hop on stream, hit start, and just go with it. And it's kind of the way I've been doing it for the whole 2 years. So
Right.
it's something that I'm used to doing, and I kind of like the fact that I can come up with content to talk about off the top of my head. And
Sure.
I think it's a good quality to have, and so I really like that kind of ability.
Right. Your stream definitely has like a formula though, and like I think schedule just helps that in terms of like
Yeah, for
habitually what you go through in terms of, okay, I'll play this countdown and then I'll play this sequence and then I'll talk to the stream for this much, then I'll go into the game and then I'll end. Like having that can help you not have to plan so much ahead of time because you know, okay, I'm always going to do this, so I can just kind of fill in the gaps with the actual content when I get there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to make sure that you don't have to do so much work, but still everything planned out and structured ahead of time, basically.
Right.
I agree with that. It's a good way to do it. Myself, for my personal streams, I do very little planning at all. It's really just on the fly right now. But for stuff like this that's podcasted, that's lots of prep because anytime you have like a scripted, or not scripted, but like a scheduled show, that, of course, you have to plan out a little bit ahead of time. But a lot of it is still improv and see what happens on the spot. So I think
it makes for some of the best moments, honestly.
exactly, yeah, and that's what streaming really is. At the end of the day, that's why it's so great. Is because you can't script a stream. It's just it's too long to do that. But versus like YouTube or something.
Yeah, YouTube you can edit stuff out and everything. There's no editing on stream.
Yeah.
So like if you do script something and then you mess it up, like what do you do? Like, oh shit, like I just messed something up, and then now everything's awkward in your brain. Like no one knows that it's awkward because they don't know that you scripted something. But like it's just it'll kill everything off.
Sorry.
It scared the crap out of me. But
It's
yeah,
all good.
just be yourself, have fun, and just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I think anytime that I go with the like channel the inner Belloc, channel the inner like you just click the button and be like, yes, okay, it's not ready, we're doing it.
Oh my god.
A comment from Finnan said, Vel and Green, what hair products do you use? Your style is on point today. Vel, what do you use, man? What's your secret?
Primo.
Primo?
Cremo. CREMO, I believe.
Cremo. Creamier than
Good stuff.
cream. The cremoist.
Sure. Whatever you say, man.
I use like, I don't even know what J. Crew something. I literally forget what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got out of the GQ catalog.
Yep. Super fancy around here. Only the finest for my hair. So we have a cool question from Prez Mayal. Said, any tips for streaming? Mayal wants to stream. So I think this would be funny for just like, what's your biggest tip for streaming overall? Like for someone who has no idea where to start. Like what's the most important thing? Yeah. Good advice there, Vel. No, but really, like, if you had to give one piece of advice, and this is something I asked on the podcast a lot, but to someone who has no idea where to start with streaming, like, what's the first thing to do to start streaming? Vel, I pick you.
Start streaming. Just
Ding,
literally
ding, ding.
do it. Do it. Just start it. Don't worry about anything. Just do it. Start streaming. Build from there. Just literally just do it.
Just go for it. Pretty simple.
Like, get over all the bullshit.
Someone
Like-
said open a Twitch account.
Like
That's a good start.
Like if
Definitely.
you have a camera, even better. Like start. Like you don't need an overlay yet. Like you're just now starting. See how it feels, and then if you start liking it, spend a couple like maybe in the future you'll start spending a couple extra bucks on a newer camera, maybe an overlay, or if you know how to make an overlay yourself, you'll do that and you'll put more time into everything. But just start streaming and have fun with it, and if you like it, you'll stick around.
Yeah. I would say, like, my overall piece of advice to go off that too is don't let the fear or the worry of being perfect stop you from streaming. That applies to everyone. Basically, like, whether you're starting from day 1 or from day 1,000, like, don't get bogged up in making sure that everything's perfect because streaming is never perfect. Just start streaming. Like, don't let anything stop you from streaming. And then also don't get demotivated when it takes a long time to get somewhere because I think that can turn people off of streaming initially when like
Oh my God.
they have the first couple streams and like, man, I streamed for 10 hours and nobody came by. Like, that's the grind, man. Like, you got to start somewhere and you got to be patient. So those are my two biggest things.
I
Azumatt,
love the grind here.
yeah.
My two biggest things is my first one, of course, is hit the stream button. But if you have a console, start there. start streaming from a console first, because you don't need a PC. You don't need a power PC to do anything. You don't need fancy overlays. Like, you start streaming from your PS4. They've got the chat on the side if you want it, or you can have like the little tiny box, whatever. But just, you don't even need a face cam. I've seen plenty of streamers that are successful without it. Just hit the stream button, play a game that actually interests you, not something that you were like, oh, I've seen a lot of people play some Fortnite. So I'm gonna play some
strategically,
Fortnite.
this is the game that's proven to give me the most growth. Yeah.
Right. Like, this one right here, 10.
What?
But
Totally cut out there, but
Totally cut out.
just the entire sentence gone.
Whatever. So what I'm just saying is, find a game that you're interested in and just hit the stream button. I mean, best case scenario, play something like I did. Like, I played Neverwinter, I think was my very first game that I ever played. And that game, it's got a very niche, like, people that watch it, and I knew that they would come in there and ask me, most likely, the questions about the game. So I made sure it was a game that I was interested in, I knew a decent amount about, and I just kind of hit start streaming. I mean, my first stream just tanked. So no matter what happens, just keep at it. Yeah, keep at it. My first stream, my laptop almost exploded on me. Okay, like the fan was going nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. So I second thing is find free resources. So like Streamlabs OBS, make that work. Or Nerd or Die, for example, use their overlays. Like, when you get to that point, start using free resources, no matter how generic they are. It'll make you stand out just that much more until you get to a certain point in your life where you think that, you know, you can maybe get a powerful PC or a new camera or a new whatever and make it work.
Yeah.
Streaming's all about trial and error.
It really is. Yeah, don't pay for anything when you're starting. You do not need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm 2 years into it, and I'm just now considering, like, I'm just now starting to want to get, like, an actual, like, legitimate PC build.
Yeah.
Like, 2 years into it, I've been on a budget system for a while. Like, it's crazy.
By the way, Azumatt, you're cutting out, like, randomly. It seems, I don't know why, but, like, another sentence just got completely cut out there. So maybe, like, lower your Discord cut off a little bit in there if you know how to do that. That might help with it.
Yeah.
But thanks for the question, Mayal or Maya. I don't know how to say it. One of those, I've been butchering names all day, so yeah, Mayal. I'll say that. Let's keep going along here. So Angry Gringa.
There you go.
Okay.
Said it right that time. Can you discuss the TRUgaming coaching program and how you guys run it and when it's opened if you're still doing it? Why, yes, we can. We in fact have a coach here with us right now. And another person wearing the shirt for the TRUgaming website. So, yeah, Val, do you want to talk about this a little bit as a coach?
So, coaching, you can go to TRUstreaming.tv and you can sign up, and then you can start getting coaching. What? Huh?
I should clarify a couple things here. So, first of all, the program is still in beta, so it's not for public sign up just yet, but it's very close to being there. Do you maybe want to talk about like what the program is, just as someone who's been doing it though, Valak?
Yeah, for sure. So like basically, you'll talk about your stream a little bit. You'll answer a few questions about like kind of like where your stream is, where you want it to be, stuff like that. Just general discussions about your channel, and it'll pair like the TRUgaming team. Like GreenChord is one of the people that'll help pair you up with a true streamer like myself, Dan the Dapper. I believe GamerDad is in on there. I believe White Shadow Pins.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anybody for coaches?
That's it for now.
Okay.
We're gonna add more soon,
So
though.
there's those coaches right now, and they'll pair you up with one of those people. And then so every week, you'll be able to talk with your coach for a half hour and ask all the questions you need. That coach will be able to go over your channel and talk to you about things that you need to improve on. It's basically like we know like the hurdles of starting a stream for sure. And then kind of like getting past like the initial phase of like being an affiliate. So like we know a lot about like up to where we're at currently, and we can help you kind of like push you along to get there.
Absolutely.
That's essentially what it's all about.
Yep. I also just linked the blog post if you want to check it out more. You can actually apply to be a coach if you think you're qualified to help other people learn how to stream better, or an artist too. But that should be launching hopefully like in a month or so, I'm hoping, or within the next month. We'll see. Don't have an exact timeline on it yet, but really excited about it, and it all kind of ties in with StreamKey too. This podcast hopefully will sort of supplement coaching still. It's really designed to be helpful for people who are new or experienced with streaming. So don't want to go like too addy on all that, but I appreciate the question. Hopefully you can check out the article to get more info if you need it. So thanks for that. We have one from Mr. Pure Instinct who said, I love the idea of spending like 5 or 10 minutes at the start of the stream just talking to viewers. How can I have people there at the start of my stream to actually do that? So I know Veloc does this. Azumatt, do you kind of do this as well in the beginning of your stream?
I typically save it to the end of my stream, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't really like doing it at the beginning, mainly because I can't guarantee that everybody can make it at my exact stream time. So I make sure that like once everybody's kind of there and we're dialing things down, that's kind of when I like to talk to them versus at the beginning.
Gotcha. Vel, maybe do you want to talk about how you kind of do that then?
Yeah. So honestly, I never did that until sometime around March or April when I started getting more of a community built up behind me. So one thing is you have to make sure that people are there, obviously, and isn't always the case, and still isn't always the case in my opinion, like for my stream either. Like, you know, I can get like up to 30 viewers, you know, sometimes on a good day, but I could still have it to where like by the time my music is over, like I'm actually starting my stream and like the camera shows up, I might only have like 3 to 6 people there, and like they're all lurking or not chatting as much. So there's not really as much feedback that I'll get from them, which is fine. That's just how it works sometimes. So even at like at a point where like I have viewers to talk to, they're not always there being able to talk as much. So if they're there and they're talking, do it. If they're not there or they're not talking, just move it along, go to the gameplay right away, and then just keep doing what you do. Don't focus too much on like the fact that you want to. Everybody wants to have a community of people to talk to. It just doesn't always work out like that. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you'll get a community built up behind you that you can have a conversation with.
Yeah,
sure.
Having a community helps that a lot, for sure.
You can't force people to be there. Even the people that, you know, are there every day, like they're not always going to show up on time. Yeah, and that's totally fine. Like on time is like, that's a weird way to put it. Like they're not always going to show up like at the time that they normally do. You know, everybody's got a life to live, so
for sure,
how it works, man.
But it does help to have like a consistent schedule with that, so that people know when you'll be live and when to be there for you to start. Also, I think having like a boot up sequence basically of some kind, whether that's like a timer countdown or Veloc does like a little video in the beginning along with just a waiting screen, that kind of helps just let people get in there and know that like everything's starting. Give you some buffer room. That's a good way to do it, I think. Or like what we did today on the podcast was we just hit go live and we just started chatting and just let the podcast kind of happen. And then we didn't start it till like a couple minutes in. I think that's a good way to do it too, is just to start and kind of like let people filter in and then, okay, we're starting now. Like that's a good way to also just bring people in naturally without forcing them in over time. But Azumatt, you do it at the end of your streams. What's that kind of like in terms of like, why did you choose to do that maybe?
I choose to do it mainly because, to be honest, like my start time, like I say I'm going to start at 9 p.m. or 1 p.m. Sometimes I'm like 2-3 minutes late. So like I don't want somebody to be sitting there and looking at it and it's 1:02 and they watch. Yeah. And they're waiting for it. So like I wait till the end, that way like I'm there, they're there. I've got probably as many people that are going to watch me for that day, and then that's kind of when I like to talk to them. I like to get to know them. Maybe by that point I've had new viewers. Maybe not everybody that's shown up at the beginning is a new viewer. Right. So like I've captured somebody's interest and they're watching me all the way to the end, and they're like, hey, I'll catch you next time, or something of that nature. Then I can talk to them. I can get to know them on a little bit more of a personal level. That's kind of why I choose to do it at the end. Right. For the main reason of there is a higher chance of being able to get to know someone that may or may not be new, and there's going to be more people present for it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it also makes sense if you can't have the most consistent schedule, because like that whole formula of having people there waiting for you to come stream, that depends on you having consistency in a schedule. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you don't have that, then having it at a different point in the stream makes more sense. So Good question, though, MPI. Thanks for that, as always. We're kind of wrapping up the podcast a little bit here. Got about 20 minutes left. So it is the last call for questions, guys, if you want to get those in. I think I saw one from Commentator earlier who said, I assume you guys will lurk in some channels, pop in for 10 and 20 minutes in others, and then camp out in others still and chat for a long time. How do you decide what is the most efficient way to spend your networking time? So specifically, I guess, in other channels on Twitch. Do you guys have like a strategy of some sort for that? Or do you just kind of naturally go a certain place in other Twitch channels? What's that kind of experience like for you guys as streamers networking?
Azumatt?
I figured you would take it first.
I mean, I already.
No, I honestly figured you'd jump on that. Sorry. I think the most effective way that I've spent my time is I start out by watching someone who might be live that's like a friend. Start there, talk to them, network with them. Maybe they've met some new people. Just because you already know them and it's easier, springboard to bounce off of. But then maybe you go and check out the new person that you didn't see. You click on them, see who they're hosting, figure out what kind of, because hosting reflects on what kind of streamer that they are. So go there, figure out if they're hosting anybody. If they aren't, check them out, take a look at their panels, something of that nature, maybe talk to them, maybe ask them a little bit about it in chat, not necessarily in that person's chat, but maybe the next time they go live. If they seem to be kind of an interesting person in your friend's chat, then it's worth it. Go into their chat, talk to them the next time they go live, maybe drop them a follow or just, leave that page open for the next couple of days. Shoot them a DM. Again, I'm a fan of DMs. I really, really like it. Shoot them a DM, be like, hey, you're kind of a cool guy. I noticed that, you don't necessarily, maybe they don't have a stream schedule or something. And it's like, I just want to know when you go live next. Kind of get a feel for you, talk to you a little bit. And that's kind of the best way that I think that you could spend your networking time is start out with where your friends are and then maybe meet some people new through that. But also, I just have very little success when it comes to clicking on random things in the directory, just because those people have already established their community. And not to say that everyone out there is not exactly as welcome, but they're not as welcoming when it comes to a new person. Because they'll say, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's good? But usually that's where the conversation stops as far as maybe a streamer or people that are in chat. So it's easier to springboard off of a friend's chat and maybe someone who's new in that chat, because if they've stopped by, you're more able to relate based on what's currently happening. And maybe that's an all-inclusive thing for your friend and for yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's an easier way, in my opinion, to network.
That definitely makes sense. Doc, you have thoughts on this one?
Yeah. So I don't know, I've seen a fair amount of success from going into people's streams that I don't really know, and so with that, like, obviously you're not going to see as much, like, the percentage of like streamers that you will be able to successfully network with compared to the percent of streamers that you're just going to back out of their stream because nothing is really coming along from that. You're going to get a lot more of the latter for sure. So I always use Woolsey as an example. That's the best networking I've ever done. He's a great streamer, one of my favorite streamers on Twitch, hands down. And that's why it worked out so well, is because you go into a streamer's channel and the first thing you have to enjoy with like the content that they put out. You have like it has to pique an interest with you. That streamer has to be there has to be some sort of connection there, and obviously you want to make sure they have some sort of community behind them that backs them. That you think that you enjoyed their community, you like that streamer, you like that streamer's content, so like it all just makes sense to you. That way, if you do hang out that channel for any amount of time, it doesn't feel like you're wasting your time because you're still getting an entertainment value out of it. Yeah. You're still hanging out with really cool people, and that's really what matters. So with that, like, you might be spending a lot of time in there. Like for me, I think it took like 3 or 4 different sessions of watching Woolsey for maybe 30, 45 minutes. And it didn't matter because I was enjoying the content. I had already subbed to him. I gave him like a $10 donation, because I did thoroughly enjoy his content. Like at that point, it was just like, I don't even care if I get anything out of this. Like this is one of my favorite streamers. And so like Finnan is here. He just put up the tribe hype. He's from Woolsey's stream. He's a part of my channel now as well. He comes in and hangs out. Bubbles as well. A couple other of the viewers from that channel, like, and then Woolsey comes into my channel, and like we still network with each other and hang out. So it just, you have to find a streamer that you enjoy. Like that's the main thing. And then don't say you're a streamer, obviously. And that's it, man. Just go in there, try to make friends and have fun. Wiggle your way in there as much as you can without being rude about it. And that's how I kind of do it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You said some good stuff there overall. Biggest thing is make sure you enjoy the content. Like, it's one thing if you feel like you have to like make your rounds on Twitch and say hi to people, and like I even feel that to an extent. That's okay, but like don't sit there and like feel like, well, I have to be here for 10 minutes, so I guess I'm here chatting with this community just because I want to say hi and be nice. Like, I don't think it's going to work well for you just because you can't be authentic for that long. And it's also just going to take a toll on you because you're not enjoying it as much. I think it's better to go really deep in like a few places than to go surface level at a lot. So like it's better to pick one channel that you're really invested in and really communicate with and really talk to, like Velik talked about here with Woolsey, rather than trying to jump between like 4 channels or 10 channels and like split your time evenly. Or even like, you know, pick 3 of those and then spend most of the time in one. Basically, just going deep in one will give you more long-term benefits than if you try to like dip your toes in a lot of different channels. So, and especially if you enjoy the content too, then it's more natural too, because it's not like, you don't even feel like you're networking. You're just enjoying the content and making friends. So I think that's a good strategy that you laid out there pretty much. Cool. Hopefully that answers your question, commentator. Find a stream that you like and stick to it, I guess. All right, so we have 10 minutes left. Lots of people coming in saying hey. Good to see you guys. Interesting last question I have from Cooley03. This is sort of like a scenario. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. So a female streamer who was wearing a hoodie for most of her stream briefly took it off because she was hot, as in physically hot, and had a sports bra underneath, got banned for a week. I won't say her name, but do you guys think it's fair for Twitch to ban her based on that? This is sort of like a dicey one to end on, but I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on it overall.
So, you know what you're wearing under a hoodie. And, like, that just seems so... Like, if you're too warm to wear, like, a hoodie, but not cold enough to where like you're not wearing anything underneath the hoodie, find something that in between those two things that's not a sports bra or a hoodie, like a long sleeve shirt for the whole stream, as opposed to fully covered and then fully not covered at the end of the stream. So like, you know what you're wearing. That's on her for sure. Like,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I agree. And this is funny because I don't know if you guys watch, this sounds stupid, but PewDiePie just put out this video yesterday about a similar situation, basically. And I just think like Twitch has to be really careful with these kind of streamers. I don't know this person. I don't know what her stream's like, but there are streamers on Twitch who like play dumb and try to get away with this stuff. Like this one girl was doing stuff at a gym, and then the gym told her she had to leave because she was basically filming other people. And then she lied saying, oh, I don't have a camera. Like there's no camera here. Like they literally pull up the screen like, okay, this is your camera. This is you. Like, you can't say it's not because this is your stream. And people will actually just like play dumb, like, oh, I didn't mean to. So you can't let people get away with that. Like, even if it's an innocent mistake, you have to set a standard for that. Otherwise, like we just talked about earlier, people will abuse it. So that's my thoughts on that one.
Yeah. I personally think I'm going to go a little bit along the lines of what Velik said is, you know what you're wearing. And Susie QQ is like dressed for the occasion. But also, you guys forget that there is a button to turn your camera off. Or maybe you can get up out of camera sight and take it off and maybe change shirts. Like, you know what you're wearing. So if you're putting on a hoodie, but you're wearing some booty shorts and a sports bra, like, did you really need the hoodie? I mean, I'm just saying, you have a camera button that can turn your camera off. You can turn your mic off if you don't want to let them hear you change. But still, there is other ways to handle that. I'm not saying that it is fair to a woman to be necessarily banned for maybe certain aspects of her body that she can't exactly control, but there is ways around it that you might, as a female, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take those measures.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be the person that cuts your camera off, takes it off, maybe puts a different shirt on, or gets up out of camera view, then takes the hoodie off. Versus a guy can be like, "Fuck, screw it, I'm hot."
You can't even. Even as a guy, you can't do that though. That's the thing.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, you can't show skin, but I'm saying like if a guy was wearing a sports bra, like you could kind of get away with it, I suppose. But
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, okay, so a guy did get banned for dressing up and playing off as a female like that. Yep. But regardless, as a human being, your first thought should be, maybe I should get out of camera before I show too much skin or cleavage or whatever.
Yeah, that's just a general rule. Like, take measures to, like, don't toe that line just because, like, there's been so many cases of stuff happening in the past. Like, you just don't want to mess with that. It's like this other stuff we were talking about with TOS earlier. Like, Twitch has been acting on it. You know that's happening. Like, you should know that as a streamer. You know that that's a potential thing that would happen to you. So just take measures to make sure it doesn't happen for you. So I think the banning was justified personally. So yeah. Okay, really quickly, we have Snoop Hogg waiting in voice. Finally, our first and last caller of the show. Let me grab Snoop here. Snoop, are you there, my friend?
Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
I wanted to give you a call in and not freak out when I was in the channel about you being live.
I appreciate that. What do you want to talk about today?
Impromptu streams. So if you have a set schedule, so you schedule 5 days a week, whatever, and then you happen to come home early on a day, or you have a day off, or something happens, whatever the case may be. How do you feel about an impromptu stream completely off schedule?
Go ahead, Val.
So, I think if you put impromptu in the title, that's huge. I think that's something you kind of necessarily you need to do. That way, in case you do happen to get a new viewer, they won't expect you to be there next Saturday at 2 p.m. or whatever, and they're like, "Where the shit is this guy?" So, I don't know. I totally am for if you have the opportunity to do it and it's not on your schedule, but you want to do it anyway, do it. Put impromptu on there and just let people know. I don't normally do this, but I'm doing it today because I love you guys and I wanted to hang out.
Yeah. I think in general, bonus streams are always good. Valak brings up a good point about putting it in the title just in case you get a new viewer who would expect to see it at the same time. But basically, the more you can stream, the better generally. Unless you're really, really trying to meticulously maintain a certain average for something. If I need to maintain 75 viewers to get partner this month, then okay, maybe you don't do it that month, but the rest of the time, once you're partner, etc., always bonus stream. There's very few cases where I wouldn't do a bonus stream. So generally, I'd say do it. But Azumatt, what do you think on that?
I think bonus streams are very, very awesome. But definitely put it in the title, or even just tweet it out, say hey, it's not normal time. Let them know. But do it in a sense that maybe you plan for it a little bit. I mean, it might be impromptu, you're hitting the stream button at a different time outside of schedule. But I mean, you most likely have been thinking about it for the past couple hours. As you're thinking about it, tweet about it, or say something in your Discord, or talk to the people that you kind of halfway expect to be there. Let them know, hey, this is possibly going to happen. So just keep an eye out for it. Make them. It's kind of like pointing out something in chat. GreenChord right now is keeping an eye out for his name. So if you just let him know, it's happening, then they're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, if we have time, we'll take a look over the next couple hours or whatever. Or you let them know, hey, I'm thinking about doing it at 9 o'clock tonight. So around 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, they're gonna be looking to see if that's actually gonna happen or not. But no matter how impromptu it is, I do think that it's a very good idea, just because it's always nice to see what happens outside of your normal stream schedule. Who can stop by that might not have been able to because of your schedule. For instance, Snoop Hogg, I know you stream relatively late my time. So that could bring, maybe you do a midday impromptu stream and you've been thinking about it for the past 3 streams. Like maybe on Friday, like I have some time around 1-2 o'clock. Like just let them know. It's like it's not guaranteed, but let them know, hey, it could happen. And if it does, they're expecting it, and then you potentially could have a lot more people showing up that can't on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's a good way to test stuff too, for sure.
I agree with that.
Cool. Anything else to add, Snoop?
No, I agree. My thoughts were pretty much just tweeted out, Discorded out. I just wanted to see something.
Okay. Cool, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for the last and first call of the show. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's fun. Try it.
All right. I'll see you, man.
Love you guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Snoop.
Freedom on, bro.
All right. Well, that was our show, guys. Thank you so much for coming out and listening. And hope you enjoyed all the content. Azumatt, thank you so much for being the special guest this week. What do you want to say before you head off here?
All I have to say is thank you so much for being here and having me, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed my soothing voice and maybe have let you fall in love with me. If you don't fall in love with me, fall in love with these 2 guys, because they're awesome. But thank you so much for being here and just supporting us, talking to us. It's always fun. And I'm actually glad that I'm alive this time.
Yeah.
Just want to say that.
That's good.
That's my
Alive or
last
alive?
closing.
Alive or live?
Both.
Okay, all right.
Alive.
Yeah, I think go check him out, guys, if you haven't already. I just linked his channel in the chat, so go give him a follow if you don't mind.
You're sweet, man. Thank you.
Val, how about you, my dude? Anything you want to say before we head off here till next week?
Always love being here. Always love being here. Makes me happy. I like hanging out with all your questions. Love helping people out because I know I've gone through like the same issues and struggles that everybody else has, and so I like helping people out with getting through all those things.
Awesome.
So thanks for being here.
Sweet. Well, Val could be on next week. I don't know who our special guest is next week, but we'll
I
find
don't know if I'll be on next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I might be in New York. Just heads up. That's something I'll say right now. Might be in New York next week, so I don't know if I'll be on this episode. So.
All right. Well, we will find out. We'll have somebody next week, so stay tuned for that. Some buddies, probably. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Again, please feel free to join the server if you want to catch the past episodes and just the community of the show if you enjoyed it. We're going to go raid, I think, MPI at the end of the show just because he's been a really good part of the show and he's helped us kind of manage it. And he actually, if you guys listen to the show, he's the one who puts all the channels in there who ask questions. Awesome dude, so I'm going to show some love to him for sure. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, by the way, if you're listening, please feel free to DM us or message us at all. We will answer your question on the show, even if you can't be here during the live thing. So just important to know. But yeah, it's going to do it for the show, guys. I'm going to trigger the raid command for MPI. And we will see you guys next week because Doc's not streaming today. So yeah, we'll see you on Monday for the return of the regular streams. Until then, say hi to MPI for us, and we will see you later. Adios.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, buddy.